Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This is the first sermon of 2026. So I'd like to start it out, if you don't mind, with a rant. That's right, a rant. After all, I'm going to become another year older, which means that I am closer to becoming an old cantankerous kvetcher who complains about things like the grocery store. Well, guess what? I want to complain about the grocery store. Now, I could never complain about HEB, Has v'Shalom. HEB is like heaven on earth. That's where we do most of our shopping. But occasionally, I'm sad to say, occasionally I will be sent to cheat on HEB with this new thing, Trader Joe's. Notice how all the Texans just moaned. Oh, how dare he. This place I'm not so fond of, and I'm going to tell you why. The first reason, maybe this is just me, I feel like Trader Joe's is too small. I'm 6'3", I'm a big guy, and the moment I get into the parking lot, I just start to feel claustrophobic. It's just too small. The parking spaces are too small. The store is too small. The aisles are too small. That's the first thing. The store is not designed for a giant like me. And the second thing is, and this feels a little weird to say, but I've got to say it anyway, maybe you've experienced this too. Everyone inside of Trader Joe's seems too attractive to be there. The people that shop there are all fit and they're put together and they're buying healthy food. And the people that work there are just beautiful. It's weird. The clerks and the shelf stockers are way too pretty. By the way, not just the women, the men too. Everybody there looks like they could be on an ensemble cast of some TV soap opera. All just beautiful. The days of the grocery store. Also, everyone, in my opinion, is just way too happy to be working at the grocery store. Nobody should be smiling when they make you wear a silly Hawaiian shirt and listen to Sting at 9 a.m. on a weekday. But they're in there just smiling, and they're always talking to me. Good morning, how are you? And I'm just, I'm feeling claustrophobic and confused. I don't like Trader Joe's. But they always have a great selection of kosher meat there, so I put up with it. But I'm always just weirded out in there. I don't like it. I don't like grocery stores that are small and attractive. I like stores that are big and ugly like me. Amen. That's what I want. The other day, I was sent to TJ's to get kosher ground turkey. And I protested, but the boss, my wife, did not hear my plea. She decided that I was going. So I decided that if I was going to go there, I would go early in the morning when no one else was there, and I would just project this aura of, I don't want to be here, don't talk to me. Like, I wasn't going to be a jerk if somebody approached me. I wouldn't be rude to anyone, but I would just posture myself in a way that people would not want to interact with me. Like, that's my right, I feel like, as an American consumer. I don't have to talk to attractive people at Trader Joe's. I can just get my turkey and get out of there. That was my plan. Now, I need to tell you about this theory that my wife has about me. She says there's something, this is weird, about my essence that subconsciously affects others around me. It's as if they somehow know that I'm like a rabbi or that I'm clergy or at least someone they can vent to, because random people will just tell me personal stuff all the time when I'm out there. Not if I'm not even wearing a kippah, I look like a normal guy. They've just got to tell me their problems. It's unusual. I used to think that happened to everyone, but I guess it just happens to little old me. And it happened the other day at Trader Joe's when I didn't want it to. I was checking out at their little register thing. By the way, they don't even have a conveyor belt, Trader Joe's. It's just this weird little wooden slab that they pull out. You never know where to park it. Anyway, the cashier, she was checking me out, and she was very attractive, and she wanted to talk to me. even though I was trying to project, don't talk to me, I don't want to be here. And she would just, beep, do you have any plans for today? And I was no. I don't want to do anything. I just want to do nothing. That's what I told this poor girl at Trader Joe's. I want to do nothing. And I kid you not, she said, I just started a relationship with this guy like 6 months ago, and he doesn't want to do anything either. And I didn't know what to say to that, because I didn't want to talk to the cashier about her relationship. So I just said, oh. And I thought she would stop talking after this. But she did not. She said, he's just not motivated. And he just sits around and plays video games. And I want him to get a job and go to school. Beep, beep. And I'm just nodding awkwardly, trying to get the heck out of there. But then she says, this all happened. She said, you know what I want to do? I want to have an official talk with him where we plan out 2026. We're going to make goals and plans and make commitments and set a budget. What do you think? I just stood there speechless. What do I think? I think I want to get my turkey and leave. I don't know. Do your thing. But of course, I didn't say that. I was a little in shock and a little weirded out that she would just disclose all of this to a random stranger. But it seemed like in that moment that she really just needed someone to talk to. I am a rabbi. I can turn that part of me on if I have to. It's like God tapped me on the shoulder and said, Jonathan, you're not just here for turkey. So I took a breath and I channeled Rabbi. I tried to say something very rabbinic. So I said, wanting to plan isn't a bad thing. Planning means you care about where you're going. The hard part is making sure both of you actually want to get there together. How's that? That's pretty rabbinic, right? Thank you. I guess it works, because with that, she smiled and nodded, and she didn't say much else. It's like she heard what she needed to hear. And then I paid, and I somehow escaped with my turkey, just got out of there. And as I was walking back to my car, still claustrophobic in that little parking lot, I realized something, that this awkward, unwanted conversation was basically Parshat Vayechi in disguise. Because this week's Parsha is all about a moment when someone says we can't just drift along anymore. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in this Parsha, Jacob, our patriarch, is at the end of his life. He knows that his clock is ticking. And what does he do? He gathers his children, all of them, and he blesses them. But more than that, he names things. Jacob just doesn't say, I love you all, good luck, be nice, mazel tov. He speaks honestly about who they are, their strengths, their failures, their potential. And some of the things that Jacob says is incredibly beautiful. And other things that he says are really uncomfortable. For example, Reuben hears about his instability. Shimon and Levi hear about their unchecked anger. Yehuda hears about leadership and responsibility. It's like Jacob here is doing what the cashier wanted to do with her boyfriend, only holier and with fewer Hawaiian shirts involved. He's saying, if we don't talk about where we're going, about where you're going, you will end up going nowhere. Vayechi teaches us that love without direction isn't enough. Good intentions without commitment aren't enough. And just coasting through life is not a plan. And that's sometimes hard to hear for some folks, because coasting through life is very comfortable. Coasting is playing the video games. Coasting is saying, I don't want to do anything. Coasting is avoiding the big conversations because they're awkward or scary or they might force change. But Jacob refuses to coast in this parsha. Even at the end of his life, he leans in and he blesses his children with clarity. He plans for a future he himself will not even be around to see. And that's the real lesson of Vayechi. Judaism does not believe in drifting through time. We believe in intention. We believe in legacy. We believe that the question is not just, are we alive, but what are we living toward? Which makes this the perfect parsha for the first sermon of 2026. Because a new year invites the same question that Jacob asked of his children, and that an overly friendly Trader Joe's cashier accidentally asked me. What are we doing with the time that is in front of us? Are we making resolutions we'll forget by February? Are we clinging to vague hopes? Who are we becoming? What patterns do we need to address and which do we need to confront? What conversations are we avoiding that might actually shape our future? Parshat Vayechi reminds us that blessing is not flattery. Blessing is spoken with truth and with love. Blessing is saying, I see who you are, but I believe you can still be more. So, dear friends, as we begin 2026, I bless us that we may have the courage of Jacob to stop coasting, to name what matters, to plan with intention, and to bless one another, not just with comfort, but with direction. And most of all, may God spare us from unexpected life coasting sessions at Trader Joe's. But if they come anyway, may we be ready to hear the message. Shabbat Shalom.